Good day to you everyone, my name is Whistler and welcome back to another episode of my Hardcore series. We're starting off today's episode in my creative test world, which you haven't seen before, although there might be a couple of things that you recognise in the background there. Depends on how many of my videos you've seen, although most of the things haven't been featured. It's a little bit of a mess. But I thought we'd start in the creative test world today because I would like to show you what I have in mind for the Nether. I have gone through a creative design process for TNT bombers. So I've slowly developed 3 different designs here of something I would like to call the Obliterator. So this module here is the Mark 1 version. This is what I came up with first. And it's a 5x5 dispenser array hooked up to an observer clock and a sticky piston. So they've all got one TNT block stored inside them at the moment. And when I fire this, it'll drop straight through the obsidian floor and blow up the surrounding area. And if you notice the dirt patches, I had a bit of an accident here earlier when I was setting this up for display. But on that note, let's fire this thing and I'll give you a good example of how destructive this thing is. Ain't that a pretty sight? Now just imagine each dispenser having a stack of TNT in rather than just one. It would be absolutely ridiculous. That would be a big hole. Just over here though, I have the Mark 2 version. So this is a 3x3 dispenser array for 9 dispensers, still hooked up to the observer clock with a sticky piston. And it's not quite as destructive, but it is going to be more efficient TNT wise. So let's just give that a nice little test fire. Yes! Love the explosions. The hole is a little bit smaller, but it is a lot more efficient TNT wise. So this is definitely an improvement on the Mark 1 version, which while it is incredibly destructive, I would prefer to not have to dig up that much sand. And over here, I have the Mark 3. This is the device that I will be using throughout my Nether in the next episode, because this episode is going to be more of a preparation episode because I don't have the resources for this. I have the sand and nothing else. Like, I need the dispensers, obsidian, observers, pistons. I need the lot. But each of these dispensers also has 1 TNT inside, so I guess we should probably fire this thing and see how it does. There we go, give us a nice bang. Boom! Awesome. So this hole is, again, slightly smaller than the other one, but I have developed this device with the idea of having multiple modules spread out across the Nether, and this thing is going to create for me a perimeter all the way from the ceiling down to the lava level, which is going to total out at 137 different Obliterator modules. So, after this failed /fill attempts, which you can safely ignore and pretend that I didn't do just then, let's test how this goes with a stack of TNT in each of the dispensers, and I'll show you the damage that it does. Now this is a creative test world that's in a flat world, so there is an unfortunate bedrock layer lessening the damage quite somewhat, but you can tell that it is definitely a deadly machine. Now just picture this going all the way through the netherrack. Now I can't wait to have this thing blowing up the Nether in my hardcore world, because that's going to be absolutely sick. And one of the reasons why I've gone for having dispensers packed so closely together as well is because it absolutely melts through netherrack. And it actually does it at such a fast rate that it goes through the netherrack faster than lava can flow. And that's going to be extremely important given that all of the Nether has these annoying lava pockets dotted throughout it, and they're going to be a bit of an obstacle. But with these devices, they just don't exist. It's awesome. I'm going to have a bit of a shopping list for myself though. I'm in need of a lot of TNT, dispensers, obsidian, observers, sticky pistons, levers, although I think I actually only need 1 lever, and lots of redstone and repeaters. So this episode's going to be a bit of a preparation episode, but hopefully it's going to still be fun regardless. So I figure we head back to the hardcore world now, and the first thing we'll do is probably give a small touch up to the lush cave, because it's not actually in a state that I would like to call finished just yet, and we'll also start the grind for getting all of the resources that I need. So let's kickstart that montage. Let the grind begin. And welcome back everyone. I hope you enjoyed that little montage that I made. So I now have a shulker and a half of obsidian, which isn't nearly enough for what I need for 137 different TNT bomber modules. I actually need 8 shulkers of this stuff, which is a bit ridiculous. It's going to take a long time to farm up, that's for sure. I did farm quite a bit of slime while I was down here though, and I've actually been able to discover which of these chunks is a slime chunk, so I actually slabbed that up. Because the reason why I've been digging obsidian down here is because I would quite like to farm gunpowder at the same time that I farm the obsidian. So I don't actually have enough gunpowder for all of the TNT either, unfortunately. That's a big mistake on my part. I have all of the sand and not enough gunpowder. I think I had like 51 double chests of gunpowder at the start of this episode, and I need 63. That's okay though, because I've finally lit up every cave beneath this creeper farm now. I'm fairly certain. So the farm itself is going to be juiced up to the max, and I should be gaining gunpowder at a pretty high rate. You can see that I've had a nice fun time down here in the bedrock though. I was very up close and personal, and now it's a bit of a mess down here now. You need a bow to craft dispensers though, which is kind of unfortunate. So I've been using my Fletcher villagers to buy the bows that I hope to use, which is rather handy. And I've begun building a bow wall here of chests. Now I actually need 685 dispensers, so that's going to equal 685 different bows, which is unfortunate. That's a pain. I'm glad I've got my Fletchers. So it's easy enough to do. I just walk up to these guys here and they give me plenty of bows. And because I have a bunch of Fletchers in my villager trading hall, I can grow my bow wall quite substantially. As 1 day's worth of trading later, I now have all of these double chests show. Now it's not enough yet. I think I'm still a couple of double chests short, but this is a really good start. And I think what I will do is I'll take all of these bows over to the creeper farm so that I can farm gunpowder while I craft the dispensers. While I'm down here though, I may as well buy a bunch of glass. I'm gonna need a lot of this. But yeah, let's just move all of these bows over to the shulkers here. So I've gotten all of my resources just below the creeper farm now. I've got my cobblestone, my redstone, my bows. So let's begin. Behold! The worst crafting recipe in the game. That's 1, that's 2, that's 3. I'd like to remind everyone that I need 685 of these bad boys. Oh no, what have I gotten myself into? Oh dear. Mojang, please, I beg of you, fix this crafting recipe because this is awful. Oh my goodness. I've very slowly but surely lost all of my brain cells in this process. But I think I'm getting there. I think I'm getting there. We're coming up to the last few bows here, and I can definitely sell you for certain that I don't have a brain anymore. It's gone. It's fallen out of my head. So please, Mojang, please just fix this crafting recipe. It's awful. Do something to make this experience better, please. I don't want to have to go through that ever again. And luckily, I don't think I will have to in this world, because I now have this many dispensers. This is actually more than I need, I think. And hopefully this is enough to future-proof the world. I'm going to need a lot of pistons as well though, so let's craft up a bunch of those. I think I'm going to need 137 of them, one for each different obliterator module. And of course they need to be sticky, so let's just stick the slime on there. And the last thing I need is actually a lot of repeaters, because I'd quite like to have one single lever acting as my on-off switch for the entire TNT array next time. And that's going to obliterate the Nether for me. It's going to be a bit of a ridiculous scene, and I actually have no idea how my laptop's going to handle it, so if you want to see that, be sure to check out the next episode. I have to say though, getting redstone is rather easy in this world. Just going through each and every one of my clerics just once is enough to get me an entire stack of redstone blocks, which I think is awesome. I'm going to need to craft lots of redstone torches for the repeaters though, so let's just do that first. There we go. And then straight on to the repeaters. Right, so we now have 4 stacks of repeaters. That's pretty decent. Hopefully there's going to be enough for what I have planned. I just realised I haven't shown you all what my lush cave looks like in its current state, because it probably could be called completed now. Like the entire torch spam business, that's completely gone. I've gotten hidden light sources everywhere, and I've gotten this nether portal in the side of the wall here. It's not got these random leaves at the bottom, making sure it's spawn proof anymore. It's all buttoned up and slabbed with black stone. And it actually looks a lot like a crack in the wall, which is actually what I was going for when I built it. So I'm very happy with how that's turned out. I do need a lot more obsidian though, so let's grab another shulker box for my ender chest here, because I need 8 shulkers of obsidian. So I think what we should do is head over to the end and mine the end pillars, and hopefully that's going to give me enough for all of the different TNT bomber modules. So let's just grab my pumpkin, because I have a feeling I'm going to be rather brain dead during this process. Mining obsidian takes an incredibly long time to do, and I'm going to be at this for several hours. And I'd rather not accidentally aggro an enderman. Now, I do realise that I haven't actually fought the ender dragon 20 times, so mining the end pillars is probably going to be a little bit of a mistake, because I'm not going to be able to keep the lack of them in my end island when I come back here in the future to do an end project. Although, I don't know when that's going to be. It's probably years away. I have other things I want to do first. But that's okay, because if I regenerate these end pillars, that's just going to mean more obsidian, I guess. Though I don't know what I'd do with it. But yeah, I hope you all enjoy that time lapse. Let's get straight into it. And welcome back everyone. I hope you all enjoyed that time lapse. I now have over 9 shulkers of obsidian. Isn't that awesome? And I've completely destroyed the end pillars. There's not a single one left. And the reason why I have 9 shulkers is because I'd gotten rid of every single end pillar other than one. And I thought to myself, someone's going to get extremely angry with me that I'm just left one end pillar here. So I guess I'm going to have to mine this last one here as well. So yeah, if I just place all of these shulkers down, you can see that I've got a full 9 shulkers of obsidian. And this took an incredibly long time to do. So it would be extremely appreciated if all of you could just go right ahead and punch that like button straight in the face, because this took a lot of effort. Like, just look at my statistics for blocks mined. Obsidian is now the 4th highest one. That's a bit ridiculous. I'm worried for myself, like really. I hope I don't have to go through that again anytime soon. Now I noticed that the bedrock that was left behind at the top of the pillars looks a lot like stars, and I thought we'd increase that effect a bit with end rods. So let's grab these here, and probably a few stacks of grass as well, and we'll stick these end rods on top of the bedrock, and hopefully that will give a nice pretty effect to show off in the world, which will probably get yeeted when I respawn the dragon, but that's okay. And what I'll do is I'll just stick an end rod in each side of the bedrock, and hopefully that will give a nice starry effect. And it might look rather pretty. That's the hope anyway. I think I might have to get rid of this endstone platform that I built up here as well. Like, I know it was good for killing the dragon before, but if I respawn the dragon again, I think I want to fight the dragon, like, more legitimately. I'd like to be dogfighting it, not just standing high above it, if you know what I mean. But there we go! Every single piece of bedrock has 6 emeralds on it, and I think that looks rather pretty. I'm glad I've done this. I know it's just going to get yeeted when I respawn the dragon again though, but that's okay. I can do something else in the future regarding the bedrock, I guess. I'm just glad that I've actually partially decorated my end at the moment, although I guess it's not much. But I guess you could just consider it a little something, and I think that's what counts. And this actually looks very pretty with shaders. I like that. It's a shame that I'm going to get rid of these at some stage, because I quite like having them around. They're nice. Now, mining all of that obsidian did do quite a number on 2 of my netherite pickaxes. I don't think I ever thought that I would ever say that. So, I guess we should probably repair them with the villagers. And as always, an excellent opportunity to buy glass. Now, I was just thinking, while the lush cave could theoretically be viewed as complete as it is now, I think I can take this one step further with, like, the warped roots and the crimson roots and potentially the mushrooms and fungus as well. So let's head straight to the fungus farm. I haven't been here for a good long time, but I do have access to a lot of the roots in this place, as you can see here. So let's just get a few stacks of the warped and the crimson roots, and we'll probably take some of the warped and the crimson fungus as well. And I'd quite like some mushrooms too. So I guess we'll plant these around the lush cave in various quantities, and we'll see how that looks. I hope it turns out okay. Oh, Enderman. Let's put the chest plate on. Gotta get rid of him. Oh, you've picked up the clay! How dare you! How dare you pick up the clay? Oh, I'm gonna need to spawn-proof the entire overworld at this rate, because I don't want Enderman moving my lush cave around. That's gonna be so irritating to deal with. But yeah, I'd quite like to put, like, the roots just, like, in little clumps like this. I think that would turn out pretty well if I just have that dotted around the entire lush cave. So let's give this a quick test view. Let's see how this looks so far. Yeah, I quite like this at the moment. It's just like a good amount of contrast to what was there before. So I think we'll take this one step further and introduce the crimson roots as well as the fungus. And we'll see how that looks. So the entire project is now done, and I want to show you how it all looks. So let's just glide straight on down. So as you can see, I've gotten loads of fungus and roots and lots of mushrooms as well, although they haven't grown as far as they probably could have done. But I'd like to ask for your opinion on this. Have I made this place too noisy? Or is this okay? Has this lush cave turned out well? Or is there something else I could do with it? Let me know. I'd like to hear all of your feedback regarding this place. Now, I do think I would quite like to add some more life to my ponds though. So I'm thinking that we add some fish, and I think that would turn out pretty well. So let's just grab some buckets and capture some fish. I think I would like to go for 4 salmon at first, as well as 4 cod, and hopefully that will give a nice little amount of life to my ponds. So let's just add these fish in here. There we go. Let them swim away. You are free now. You can exit the bucket. Now, I don't just want salmon and cod in here, so I think I would quite like to get some tropical fish as well. Oh, look at this. Look at what I've done. This used to be a coral reef. 50,000 fish used to live here. Now it's just a ghost town. Oh, here's one. You shall be the first one. Now I just need to find some more. Oh, here's one. There we go. That's another one down. Now, if I just grab one more tropical fish, that will make 8 tropical fish. And I think that will hopefully be enough to liven up my lush cave a little bit. And it should give the place just the right amount of life that it needs. So, let's just place these bad boys straight in here. There you go, little fishies. Have fun, have fun. Enjoy your life down here. Now, I'm aware that if I bring axolotls into this cave, that they will probably try to eat the fish. So I'm thinking if I do eventually bring axolotls along, I'll put them in the pond up here, and that way I don't think they'll be able to kill the fish because they won't be able to pathfind to them. So I don't think they like to leave water. So if I have the fish in a separate pond, they should be safe. Or at least that's the hope. I'm afraid that's going to have to be the end of the episode though. So I hope you enjoyed. If you did, be sure to leave a like down below. And if you'd like to see more, consider subscribing. I know I would, because the next episode is going to be a humongous TNT explosion. And I can't wait to show you all how that affects my laptop, because it's probably going to bring it to a standstill. But on that note, bye! Thanks for watching.